So I've been using LIFX bulbs since they first came out. They were one of the first smart LED light bulbs, but they've been plagued with issues. Every time I updated the firmware or I wanted to turn the light bulb off with a mechanical switch, it would always fail, and then I would have to send it back and get a warranty, and it was just a terrible process. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a really good competitor, and it's going to be the SwitchBot light bulbs. So the smart bulbs that we're going to cover in this video are going to be your typical E26 ones that you put in your lamps, and then the strip lights. And I'm going to compare them directly to the LIFX competitor, which are insanely more expensive, and they have a terrible failure rate. So I use smart bulbs for many reasons. The first one is obviously I use it for day-to-day life, and I like to match the color temperature. That's one of the best things about these smart bulbs, is that during the day you can match it to the sun, so maybe 5600 Kelvin, or when I'm filming, I can just control all the temperatures of my lights. Right now it's all set to 5600 Kelvin. However, if I want to film and I want to set maybe something more moody, I can just press this assistant. And right now it's going to activate all the lights. The SwitchBot lights are going to be changing colors, and it's going to give it a nice kind of cool color. So right there you can see in the background, the strip light on the cabinet behind me had turned on. And yeah, there's a little bit of a more purple red hue, and it just looks really nice. So this helps with filming, and it kind of gives a little bit more pizzazz to my video. So here's my tablet, and here I have all my Google Home routines. If I tap one of them, they're going to change all the lights in just 1 second. You can see it's changing the scene right now. This is very helpful for when I'm filming and I just want to quickly change the scenes. Now, if I want to make the scene even more moody and just have the SwitchBot LED strip lights in the back over there, I can just turn off all the other lights and just wait for the camera to pick up my face. And so now we have a moody scene. So I'm just going to keep it back on the normal one over there. So that's one of the main benefits, is that when you're going to sleep, you want to change all your lights to a warmer tone, so maybe 3000 Kelvin. And what happens with this setting is that you set it to a more warmer tone, which helps prevent the blue light from entering your eyes, and that keeps you up at night. So all in all, having smart LED light bulbs is not just for YouTubers, filmers, and stuff like that. It's really good just to have them day to day. And one of my favorite things to do with any type of smart LED light bulb is that I'll put a Edison lamp right behind my lamp. I'll put a smart bulb there, and I'll match my monitor so I can give it more bias lighting, so I can reduce the contrast for my lights so that it reduces the eye strain, and it matches the color temperature of my monitor. So those are the main reasons why you want a smart LED light bulb. So let's go into the SwitchBot ones. Now I have to say, these are fantastic. They're way more inexpensive than the LIFX bulbs, and they're way more reliable. And what do I mean by reliability? Well, with these LIFX bulbs, like I said before in the beginning, they would always fail. And by fail, I mean when you updated the firmware or you mechanically turned off the switch, for some reason it would just always reset, and I would have to send it back and do all that stuff. With the SwitchBot E26 light bulb, I can turn the mechanical switch, as you can see in this video. I can turn it off. It instantly turns on and off really quickly, and it reconnects to the Wi-Fi network, and it's super fast. You don't need any hub. It doesn't require having a separate machine. You just connect it to your Wi-Fi, and it works flawlessly. So I haven't had any issues with it failing, and I've been using them for the past year, and they've been fantastic. So let's go into the installation of the LED strips. Now the LED strips are really long and very impressive for what you get. I actually used it over in the back over there, you can see, just to give it a little bit more color, and I find that they are really good. Now I did have the LED strips for the LIFX Z strips, and they were pretty good. They're very bright, but they had this weird buzzing noise near the power adapter, and these ones don't have that. So both work very well, but the SwitchBot versions are a lot cheaper and they're a lot longer. So you have a lot more kind of flexibility of how you want to mount them. Now, one of the coolest things about the LED strip lights that you get with SwitchBot is that the installation process is far better than the LIFX ones. The issue with the LIFX version is that they use only an adhesive, and it would always fall apart, and you would have to use your own adhesive and stuff like that. It just wasn't very sticky, and when you took it down, I don't know, it's pretty much unusable if you wanted to reapply it somewhere else, or you had to use your own adhesive, and it's just very messy in general. So I didn't like the installation process with that. In fact, when I left my place that I was renting, I just left it there. I didn't even bother taking them. Now with the SwitchBot version, I found that they provide you multiple ways of actually installing it. And the adhesive itself is a lot more stickier. So it's just easier to put on, as you can see in this video. And I really like that SwitchBot includes this holder, kind of like a clamp, that secures the LED strip lights a lot more better than what you would typically have with just only adhesive. So after having used these LED strips for more than a year, I have to say they have not fallen off, unlike my LIFX ones, which had a tendency to always fall off. The way that these LED strips are built is that 1, it just has a more stickier adhesive. Number 2, they're much more flexible and bendable. And number 3, they're just lighter in general because the LIFX Z strips have a plastic cover to it, which makes it less flexible and heavier. Now, of course, there's some pros and cons to this style, but overall, I'm just glad they don't fall off. So with the LED strip lights, you get your typical functions. You do get a remote, which I never used. I don't really need that. You can control it all through the SwitchBot app. You can, change the colors, do all these cool scenes and stuff like that. Same applies for the E26 bulb. You have all those typical smart LED light bulb functions. But the best thing about this is that it integrates very well with Google Assistant. And of course, it integrates with all the other voice assistants like Alexa's and whatnot. And I just really like having it all unified in Google. So when I set a routine, just like now, when I press that button or I tell Google, activate this scene, I can have it configure all the lights as I want it to be, and I can start filming. So it just makes filming in my situation, in my shared living space, a lot easier. Now, I did mention this before, I just want to mention it again. With the E26 light bulb, I love the fact that it's so responsive when I turn the physical switch on and off. One of the things I hated with the LIFX bulb is that if you turned it on and off, I don't know, sometimes it would reset, sometimes it would just completely fail, and it would just confuse the heck out of it, and it was just an awful experience, honestly. Now with the SwitchBot, I just turn it on, turn it off. I don't have to feel that kind of anxiety that it's gonna like reset or the Wi-Fi is not gonna reconnect, and it reconnects really quick to the internet access. So I don't know, it's just nice that you have some smart IoT devices that just don't make it more inconvenient in general. Another thing I like about the light bulbs is that they're more compact, lighter in general. So like they're not too heavy. So if you want to mount it in places, it's not going to put too much pressure on your fixtures, your light fixtures. So with the LIFX ones, they're just very, very heavy, very clunky. They get very hot and they're very big. So they're kind of hard to fit in like small lamps and stuff like that. So I really like how small and compact and how efficient they do run. Now, one of my cons or constructive feedback I would like to give to SwitchBot in regards to their smart LED light bulbs is that I wish it was a little bit more bright. So the typical E26 light bulbs are rated at 800 lumens, and a LIFX bulb, like one over here, you can buy one that goes all the way to 1100 lumens. Now, the difference between 800 and 1100 lumens is pretty noticeable, and I really do wish that they offered a higher lumen version, a brighter bulb, and this obviously charged a little bit more for the customer so that we have that option of choosing a brighter bulb. The best part about these SwitchBot light bulbs is that if you have other brands, you can still mix and match with them as long as they all interface with Google Home. This makes it very easy to set up routines or scenes without relying on third-party apps. Another obvious bonus with SwitchBot lights is that they can natively integrate with all their other smart IoT connected devices, like their smart curtains, smart door, the button pusher, and of course their motion sensors. I've done reviews on all these gadgets on my channel, so definitely check it out. Have a search for SwitchBot on my channel. Now, a practical use case is that you can define custom triggers in the SwitchBot app such that if you open the door or trigger a motion sensor, the light will turn on for a few seconds. This has made it very, very easy to just integrate all the devices and make some kind of motion sensor light system. So all in all, I have to say the SwitchBot LED smart bulbs are a fantastic investment in your home if you want to match the color temperatures throughout the day and with your circadian rhythm. If you have a YouTube studio or you want to start filming and stuff like that, I really do think it's you do definitely need it. It's kind of like a staple for YouTubers these days is to have a purple background. Maybe it looks too gamery, I don't know. If you're interested in any of these, I will leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching and leave a comment if you have any questions. See ya.